Have you ever wondered what it really means to be part of the 1%? Most people think the 1% is just one group, but that's only the beginning.
If I make 6 figures, I'll finally be rich.
But wealth has layers, and every level completely changes how money actually works.
Today, we'll climb every level, from millionaires all the way to families controlling global fortunes.
Each step represents a completely different financial world.
The differences aren't just about numbers. They're about power, opportunity, and influence.
Assets work for you long after you've stopped working. That's the first mindset shift, separating income from real wealth. Imagine two people earning exactly the same salary, yet ending up with completely different financial futures.
One spends everything they earn, while the other quietly buys assets that keep growing every year.
At first, both lives look almost identical, making the smarter choice nearly invisible. That's because real wealth compounds slowly before suddenly becoming impossible to ignore. Time is the most powerful investment you'll ever own. Every billionaire once relied on the exact same mathematical principle called compound growth. But becoming wealthy is only the first step toward joining higher levels of the 1%. Above millionaires are multimillionaires, then billionaires, and eventually families whose wealth shapes entire industries. So let's begin our journey with the very first level, where most self-made millionaires start building lasting wealth. Our journey begins with the first major milestone, the self-made millionaire, someone whose net worth reaches at least $1 million. Although $1 million sounds enormous, it's actually the entrance to an entirely different financial world. Meet Ethan again. After years of disciplined saving and investing, his net worth has finally crossed $1 million. But here's the surprise. Most millionaires don't actually look rich. Many drive practical cars, live in comfortable homes, and quietly continue investing every month. Real wealth is often invisible because it lives inside businesses, investments, and ownership.
Unlike expensive purchases, productive assets continue creating income long after they're bought.
This is the biggest difference between looking wealthy and actually becoming wealthy.
Millionaires understand that ownership creates freedom far more effectively than consumption ever can.
Instead of celebrating with luxury spending, Ethan purchases another rental property to strengthen his future.
The biggest advantage millionaires gain isn't buying more things. It's buying more time, freedom, and future opportunities. Financial independence means your investments continue earning even while you're sleeping, traveling, or spending time with family. Instead of depending on one paycheck, Ethan now earns income from several different sources every single month. The goal isn't working harder forever. The goal is owning assets that never stop working. This simple shift, from earning money to owning productive assets, is what separates long-term wealth from temporary success. Most people chase higher salaries. Wealth builders focus on increasing ownership instead. For many self-made millionaires, this level is only the beginning of a much larger journey. Now let's climb to the next level, where millions become tens of millions, and wealth begins creating influence instead of simply providing security. Welcome to level 2, where wealth grows beyond comfort and begins creating genuine influence in the world.
At this level, net worth usually ranges from $10 million to $100 million.
Years later, Ethan's investments have multiplied into several successful businesses, pushing him into the multimillionaire category. Notice something important. Ethan isn't earning dramatically more. He simply owns far more productive assets. Ownership creates leverage, allowing money, employees, and technology to work together at enormous scale. The wealthiest investors spend more time allocating capital than earning salaries. Every new investment becomes another engine capable of producing even greater future opportunities. At this stage, wealth begins creating influence, not only for the owner, but for entire communities. As Ethan's businesses expand, he no longer manages every detail himself. Instead, he builds strong teams that multiply his impact.
This is where successful entrepreneurs stop thinking like workers and start thinking like builders of systems.
Every successful system generates profits that can be reinvested into even larger opportunities, creating an accelerating cycle of growth. The greatest investors don't chase every opportunity. They patiently wait for the right opportunities. Patience often becomes one of the most valuable assets wealthy investors ever develop.
Money grows faster when combined with patience, discipline, and smart decision-making over many years.
Thank you, everyone. Great work.
Whoa.
That's an excellent idea. Look at this. Years of hard work have finally paid off.
At this level, successful entrepreneurs often begin supporting education, healthcare, innovation, and charitable projects within their communities. Influence grows when wealth creates value for more people, instead of serving only one individual. But above multimillionaires stands an even smaller group whose fortunes reshape entire industries. Let's meet the billionaires. Reaching $1 billion changes the game completely, because now you're no longer managing wealth. You are shaping entire industries. At this level, ownership often stretches across multiple companies, countries, technologies, and global markets. Every decision we make today should still create value 20 years from now. Billionaires rarely become wealthy by saving money alone. They usually build systems capable of serving millions of people. Instead of thinking about today's profits, they often focus on creating value that compounds for decades. Innovation isn't an event. It's a culture that must improve every single day. At this scale, success depends on attracting exceptional people who can solve increasingly complex problems. Money may create opportunities, but vision is what transforms companies into global leaders.
A great company isn't measured by today's success, but by whether it can still lead decades from now.
The larger a company becomes, the more important leadership, culture, and trust become. Factories, software, research labs, logistics, and customer service all operate together like one enormous living system. Every satisfied customer strengthens the future of the company more than any advertisement ever could. The world's largest companies continuously improve because they never stop learning from the people they serve. By this stage, money is no longer the biggest advantage. The greatest advantage becomes the ability to attract extraordinary people.
The strongest leaders don't build followers. They build future leaders who can eventually replace them.
That's how lasting companies survive generation after generation while continuing to innovate and expand around the world. Even among billionaires, only a tiny handful eventually build fortunes that outlive them for generations. Next, we'll explore the rarest level of all, global wealth dynasties, where fortunes survive not just for decades, but for centuries. At the highest level of wealth, success is no longer measured by one lifetime, but by how many generations continue building upon it. These families often think in decades or even centuries instead of quarterly results or yearly profits.
Our responsibility is not simply creating wealth, but preserving opportunity for generations yet to come.
Instead of managing one company, Many family offices oversee hundreds of investments across countless industries. Their portfolios may include technology, healthcare, manufacturing, finance, agriculture, infrastructure, and scientific research.
Diversification protects the future because no single industry remains dominant forever.
Long-lasting fortunes survive because they adapt continuously instead of relying on yesterday's success. The greatest legacy isn't simply inherited wealth. It's inherited knowledge, responsibility, and vision.
Every generation receives wealth only after learning how to protect, grow, and responsibly manage it. What does responsible management look like?
Passing down money without passing down wisdom rarely preserves wealth for very long. That's why many enduring family enterprises invest heavily in education, mentorship, and leadership development.
Stewardship means leaving every generation stronger than the one before it.
Many lasting fortunes also support universities, scientific research, healthcare, museums, and cultural institutions.
When wealth creates lasting opportunities for millions of people, its greatest value extends far beyond financial success.
Our greatest achievement won't be what we own today, but what future generations are empowered to accomplish tomorrow.
Whether wealth lasts depends less on luck and far more on disciplined decisions repeated across many generations. No matter which level we've explored today, one lesson connects every stage of the journey. In the next chapter, we'll uncover the timeless principles that appear again and again at every level of extraordinary wealth. Whether someone owns $1 million or $100 billion, the same core principles appear surprisingly often. The first principle is simple. Wealth grows by consistently creating value for other people. The greater the problem you solve, the more people benefit, and the larger your potential opportunity becomes.
Ethan's success didn't begin when he earned more money. It began when he started solving bigger problems for more customers.
Every successful company grows because people voluntarily choose products and services that improve their lives. The second principle is patience, because meaningful wealth rarely appears overnight. Time allows investments, businesses, relationships, and experience to reinforce one another year after year. Our biggest competitive advantage comes from improving a little every single day. The third principle is discipline, because consistent decisions usually outperform occasional moments of brilliance. Small improvements repeated every day eventually produce extraordinary results that seem impossible from the beginning.
Even after becoming successful, Ethan never stopped learning, improving, and adapting to new challenges.
The day we believe we've learned everything is the day we begin falling behind. Continuous learning keeps businesses relevant while the world changes around them every single year. Another lesson shared by every level is resilience, because setbacks are part of every meaningful journey. Every entrepreneur faces failures, difficult decisions, and unexpected challenges before achieving lasting success.
Character becomes most visible when circumstances become most difficult.
Create value, stay patient, remain disciplined, keep learning, and never let temporary setbacks define your future. Now let's bring everything together by discovering what these remarkable journeys can teach every one of us, regardless of our current starting point. After exploring every level of the 1%, one question remains. What can you actually do with these lessons today? The encouraging truth is that every billionaire once stood at the very beginning, facing uncertainty just like everyone else. Nobody begins at the top of the pyramid. Every journey starts with one thoughtful decision, followed by another. Remember Ethan. His biggest breakthrough wasn't earning more money. It was changing the way he made financial decisions. Small choices repeated consistently often become the invisible foundation beneath extraordinary achievements. Your starting point matters far less than your willingness to keep moving forward every single day. Every successful journey includes mistakes, corrections, learning, and steady improvement over many years. Progress doesn't require perfection. It only requires consistency, curiosity, and the courage to continue. Years later, Ethan realizes his greatest investment was never a stock or a building. It was the habit of making thoughtful decisions every day. Notice that every level we explored was built upon the same foundation, simply expanded over longer periods of time. Success rarely arrives through one dramatic breakthrough. It usually grows through thousands of ordinary decisions made consistently. Think beyond today's challenges. Build something your future self will thank you for. The future isn't built tomorrow. It's built through the decisions you make immediately after watching this video. Every meaningful goal begins as an idea, grows into a habit, and eventually becomes part of someone's everyday life.
The greatest inheritance anyone can leave behind is the example of a life lived with purpose and integrity.
No matter your age, background, or current finances, your next decision still has the power to change your future.
Every remarkable journey begins exactly where you are, using whatever opportunities are already within your reach. Before we finish, there's one final lesson that may be even more important than every level of wealth we've explored so far. Throughout this journey, we've measured wealth with numbers. But the greatest lesson has nothing to do with numbers at all. Money can create comfort, opportunity, and freedom, but it can never replace purpose, relationships, or character. The people we met all reached different levels of success, yet they shared one remarkable habit. They kept building. They built knowledge before wealth, habits before success, and trust before influence.
I'm proud of the businesses we built, but I'm even more grateful for the life we've built together.
Success means creating opportunities that continue improving people's lives long after you're gone.
The greatest legacy isn't measured by what remains in a bank account, but by what remains in people's lives.
Maybe the real goal was never reaching the 1%. Maybe it was becoming the best version of yourself. Because wealth without purpose eventually feels empty, while purpose can enrich every stage of life.
Every great fortune began with one decision. Your next decision could become the beginning of your own story.
No matter where you begin, every meaningful journey starts with a single step taken today.
And remember, success isn't about comparing your chapter 1 to someone else's chapter 20.
Every chapter teaches something valuable, especially the difficult ones that shape resilience and wisdom.
Keep learning, keep building, keep improving, because your future is created one decision at a time.
The climb may be slow, but every thoughtful step moves you closer to the life you're trying to create.
Thank you for joining me on this journey through every level of the 1%.
I hope this story inspires you to think bigger, plan longer, and build something that truly matters.
Until next time, keep learning, keep growing, and keep building your future, one decision at a time.